Hey guys, so welcome to the channel. Today I'm doing a little repair maintenance on my 2004 Super Duty. I just thought I'd take you guys along with me for a little bit of it. I'll show you what's going on here, so stay tuned. Okay, here we are. This is my 2004 Super Duty diesel. I call this one Recon. There's a couple issues going on with it today that I need to address. The first one is there's a hole in the oil pan, and I'm gonna see what I can't do to get that patched up, at least temporarily, by myself, because the shop wants $1,200. You gotta basically pull the motor, at least jack it up quite a ways to get to the oil pan bolts. So that's a lot of money that I don't want to spend, considering that truck right there. That's as much as I can show you because my business information's in the back window. That's the Colonel, just had a transmission rebuilt, was $2,000. So, and this truck here doesn't have any business information on it. This is I kind of keep this one incognito. It is my my plow truck that I drive. My employees don't drive it unless they absolutely have to, but I don't know, I travel across the country and pull my camper with this truck, and I just like to stay under the radar as far as the DOT goes and whatnot, so I keep my business information off it. I did have some guy in the last video that I showed the Colonel over there give me a bunch of crap. Why would you have your personal information on there? Well, it's my business truck, and I'm running a business here, and I want to show you guys what I got going on, so I have to show some of the truck. What I'll probably do is I'll probably just go ahead and put some cardboard over the business information in future videos. But anyway, the other issue that I got going on here is I just have a, let's see if I can get it into focus here. I got a bad U-joint. You can hear it there. It's whopped out. Just need to replace that, and in order to replace that, I got to pull the, first thing we'll do is pull the brake caliper, then we'll pull the rotor, then we got to get in here and pull the lock out, then we got to take the wheel bearing off, and then we should be able to get to that U-joint. So I'm going to hook this thing back up to the tripod and we'll get started. Well, unfortunately, I've determined that there's really no good way to get this camera underneath the truck. So you're outside of the truck looking in. Hopefully this will work. So the first thing we need to do is, here's one bolt I already took out. Got to take out these caliper bolts, which they're loose already. Not loose, but they're not jacked way in there super tight, because I actually had to do an emergency brake job in the mountains when I just went on my road trip out to Glacier. My brakes started chafing when I was out there, so I had my jack with me and my tools, and so I just did a brake job right there at Glacier Park. Get this caliper off, and pads are good. Find a place to set this. Normally I just set it up here on the leaf spring so it's out of the way. Take the rotor off here, if it'll come off. Sometimes they play havoc. Okay, so I got the rotor loose. I had to beat on it a little bit. So take the rotor off, set that out of the way, and then I'm going to go ahead and, that's why my ABS light's on. This here, I don't know, maybe I can zoom in on it. This wire here is the ABS wire, and it's cut, but that's okay, because honestly I hate ABS when I'm trying to plow, so that's alright with me. Okay, next, find our Torx bit that fits this which is a T25. Get out our handy impact device here. Get out my 3/8 driver for the impact. My camera skills suck. Take out these 6 screws. Some people may be intimidated to get into stuff like this, and that's why I'm making the video. It's not that bad. So this is just your typical Ford lockout hub. Just six Torx head screws hold it on. I have these little tabs right here are what engage and disengage it, and they like to snap off, so I have to replace usually a couple of them every winter. Probably the hardest thing to do here is there's a little snap ring type deal in there. And it can be a real bugger to get out if you've never done it before. So you gotta find where it starts, which is right here. Get a pick in there and pull it back, and then just work it around, and I'll show you. So it's basically just a snap ring here that has several winds, and it just kind of winds up in there. When this pulls out, this is the actual hub itself. And then inside of there we have a snap ring that holds the axle shaft in, which I don't have any snap ring pliers handy. I didn't even think about that. So anyway, I didn't really know what direction to take the channel, what to do, how much interest there is, but you know, this is part of being self-sufficient. It's part of I'm not really a homesteader, but we try to be as self-sufficient as possible, and it's part of prepping, in my opinion, keeping your vehicles in good working order and saving tens of thousands of dollars over the course of your lifetime. Let's see if I can get my face in the shot here. Whoa, we're zoomed way in. Okay. You know, you save so much money over the course of a lifetime working on your own vehicles. So I do a lot of work on my own stuff, especially since I have a fleet of 4 trucks and a loader for snow removal services. So I may start incorporating some of this stuff into my videos. You'll have to let me know if you're interested in it or not. It's just kind of my life journey, and I'm gonna take the camera along with me and see where it goes. I'm gonna try to keep my identity, obviously, as low profile as possible. I'll refer to where I'm at as Northern Michigan. Yeah, so that's where I'm gonna go with the channel. Like I said, I don't do a lot of reviews because everything that I buy is bought with my own hard-earned money, and by the time I can afford it, it's already been out for a while, and there's already a bunch of reviews on YouTube. So it's kind of like just throwing a needle in a haystack, and I don't really want to do that. So although I will say my favorite knife ever, I purchased this a month ago. I've been waiting to purchase it, is the Benchmade 940 Osborne. Oh man, this thing is just sweet. After I lost my Barrage, I said that I needed to replace it with another high quality Benchmade, and I just wasn't sure that I wanted to buy another barrage. I wanted to try something different, so that's what I ended up with. But anyway, I'm gonna tear the wheel bearing out of this, and then I'll come back and get you. Alright, so I'm back. Went to town to try to get some snap ring pliers because I didn't have any that worked very well, and I'm irritated. Yesterday the issue with town was I wanted a wooden handled splitting maul, and I went to every place that I could think of, hardware stores, Home Depot, Tractor Supply, Family Farm and Home. Couldn't find one. So today I ran into the same issue with lock ring pliers. I went to Tractor Supply, Family Farm and Home, I went to the parts store. They all had them, but they were all just cheap, chintzy junk. And I'm starting to find out that it's hard to find quality things nowadays, and it's a little bit frustrating. So I went to Home Depot and I found a pair of Channel Lock brand snap ring pliers, and they're still not something that I think that I'm going to be able to use for a lifetime, but they were the strongest ones that I could find. So it's just a little bit frustrating that you can't get quality items anymore, and if the store does offer them, they don't have them in the store. You have to go online and order them. Well, that doesn't do me any good right now. I need this stuff now. Sometimes with my plow business, I do think ahead on certain things like hoses and whatnot for the Western plows. I do order some of those ahead of time on Amazon, but there are things that guys need right now, and yeah, just a little bit frustrating. Shame on the big box stores for not having quality tools available when guys need them. So I'm back now, and let's see if I can get the camera pointed back to where I need it. So the next step here would be to take the wheel bearing off, which isn't too bad on this one because I replaced it a year ago, but I have ran into problems where they seize on pretty good. There's 4 bolts that hold that on, and they are a 18mm socket. Everything on this truck is metric. And once we get this wheel bearing off, then I should be able to pull that axle right out of there. So just take out these 4 bolts. I gotta start the truck and turn the wheel the other way. It's pretty loud, so I'm gonna shut the camera off, and we'll come back once the wheel bearing's off. Okay, so wheel bearing is off. Here we go. Like I said, it came right off. Now I will say that this one stud right here stayed in, and the rest of them came out, which is okay, because basically all they are is just a double nutted stud. So depending on what breaks free, whether it be the stud inside the wheel bearing or the nut on the end, it doesn't really matter, they still come off. So, and actually that gives me a when I put it back together, it allows that stud will go through there and hold it into place, so it'll actually be a little bit of a blessing. And then as far as the shaft goes, just pulls out. Sometimes you have to give it a little pry bar love back in there, but it'll come out. But as you can tell, as you can hear here, this is pretty well wasted. I'm gonna have to take this down to the shop and clean it up and replace that U-joint. I use a ball joint press to do that. It just seems to be the best way to do it for me. Not a fun job, but definitely something that you can do yourself. If you don't have a ball joint press, some guys will put these in a vise, and if you hit this knuckle right here, it'll drive the U-joint up. That's how I used to do it until I could afford a ball joint press. But the purpose of this video is just kind of to help the everyday guy see that you don't need to take your vehicle to the shop. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube. There's books you can read, forums you can read, and you can do it yourself with some basic tools. I mean, basically a 18 millimeter, 15 millimeter, some screwdrivers, a ratchet. I mean, this is pretty simple stuff here. It looks overwhelming, I know, and it feels a little bit overwhelming at times, but it's really not end of the world stuff that we're dealing with here. So, you know, do the work yourself, save yourself money, and spend that money somewhere else, maybe on food or other prepping supplies that you might want. But I think, like I said, for the channel here now, I'm just going to kind of document my life with you guys, because I do run a fleet of trucks, and I do have to work on them a lot. I do burn wood, so I have wood pile. We have a garden now. There's a lot of homesteading type stuff that I do around here. We do live on the grid still. We don't live off grid. I mean, I still do have modern appliances of water, electricity, and all that type of stuff. But there's a lot of things that, if you guys are interested, let me know, and I can teach you to the best of my ability. I was a farmer for quite a few years, and that taught me a lot of stuff. I went to mechanic school. That taught me a lot. My dad taught me a lot growing up. My granddad taught me a lot. So I'm only 28, but I do pretty well for myself, and I try to do as much as I can without relying on other people. So I'm gonna get this U-joint replaced, and then we're gonna go into just put it back together in reverse order. Not a big deal. I'm gonna try to keep this video short, so I'm just gonna do the U-joint, and then, I mean, if you guys want to see it done, then let me know, and I'll do it the next time. But I have to go down to the shop now, and I'll be back. So I decided to bring you down here. This particular U-joint setup here on these shafts have my least favorite. They're internal clips. I prefer external, but that's what we got going on here, is these internals, and they don't like to come out very well. So I'm gonna see what I can't do to get the rest of these out. I got 3 of the 4 clips out, and I just want to show you on this last one, right, focus, right there. See if I can't find a screwdriver here to show you. Right there is where I'm going to put my screwdriver. See that little opening right there? And I'm going to hit it and pound that clip out of there. That's how these internal ones work. There's one on all 4 sides. There's just a little area right there, just enough room to get your screwdriver in there, or punch, or whatever you want to use, and pry that out of there. It's a real pain in the neck, but it's the way it goes. Well, that didn't go quite as planned. The ball joint press idea didn't work out this time. This thing was so seized in there that I actually had to heat it up and beat it. Heat and beat. Sometimes you just need a torch and a bigger hammer. But the new U-joint is installed. Oh, and the parts store sold me the wrong U-joint, so I had to go back and exchange it for the correct one. But so the U-joint's in now. Just basically put everything back together in reverse order. Put the axle back in, put the wheel bearing back on, brakes, lockout hub, and we're set to go. So now I'm gonna go do that, and I'll probably cut in here one more time when it's all put back together, and we'll go from there. Well, here we are, all put back together, except for the tire. Got to put the tire on yet, but everything went back together just perfectly. So I now have my U-joint replaced. It's taken a lot longer than I wanted it to, but it's done nevertheless. Now I need to move on to the next project and try to tackle this oil pan issue that I got going on. So hopefully you liked the video. I know it was kind of boring and whatnot, but subscribe to the channel. I'm just gonna keep shooting video of my everyday stuff that I do, so stay tuned.